Have you ever stopped to think about the power that the doors of your wardrobe have? It sounds like a simple matter, but what happens when these doors get open can be something much deeper than we think. What you may not know is that keeping these doors open can affect the subtle energy flow within your home and even within you. Renewal of energies, home purification, spiritual protection. All this is at stake. In the small town of São João, Maria always had a strong connection with her home. But after a strange episode, something began to change in her environment. Whenever the doors of his wardrobe were open, he felt a strange presence, a heavy energy, as if something or someone was there, watching. His friend Helena, a spiritual forces expert, was the first to realize what was going on. Together they began to investigate the reason for this impact on the energy sensitivity of the site. It's hard to believe, but that simple action of leaving the wardrobe open was creating a disturbed auric field. Now Maria finds herself around with an energy difficult to control. What will be happening in her environment? And most importantly, how can close the gates of the wardrobe be the first step to restore spiritual harmony? Believe me, the impact of this action on your daily life can be even deeper than you think. Negative charges, vibrational influence, energy flow. It's time to understand all this. Imagine, for a moment, waking up every morning with the feeling that something is not right. You get up, follow your routine, but the energy in the environment seems dense, as if there was something preventing you from breathing. Everything seems in clutter, but you don't know what exactly. This is the scenario that Maria began to face. His life was full of challenges, and that weight in the air only seemed to get worse. Which once seemed to be a simple custom of leaving the wardrobe doors open became a crucial point of tension in your home. Helena, in turn, felt the energy of the environment dragging on, heavy, stagnant. She had already faced situations like this before, but never imagined that something so simple could generate so much confusion. What was supposed to be a space of comfort, now it seemed to be a portal for unwanted energies and astral influence. The presence of stagnant energies in the house was evident, and Helena knew she needed to act quickly. It was the beginning of a journey that Maria never imagined, but that could change everything. When Maria began to realize the influence of keeping the wardrobe doors open, she had no idea how she was having on her home's energy flow. Each environment has its own energy, which circulates continuously, like a silent dance among the invisible forces that permeate the world. What she didn't know was that, when she left her doors open, she was creating energetic portals that allowed unwanted spiritual forces to enter her home. This caused a real mess in her auric field, interfering with her and her family's quality of life. Helena, always attentive to the subtleties of energy, was the first to realize that that behavior was interfering in the environment. When you leave your doors open, you are creating an energy vacuum. What comes in is not always positive, and what comes out can be loaded with negative charges, she said, with a serious expression. Maria was surprised, but also relieved to finally understand what was happening. Invisible energy barriers were being broken, and the energy flow of his house was disordered. The wardrobe, for many, is just an ordinary furniture, used to store clothes and personal effects. However, in the field of spirituality, he carries a deeper meaning. It represents, in a way, our interior, our feelings, and even the secrets we keep in our mind and heart. When the doors of this space remain open, it is as if we are exposing our intimacies to the world, allowing external energies to influence our auric field. Maria began to understand that the wardrobe was not only a place to store clothes, but also a symbol of spiritual protection and energy balance. Helena explained that the organization within the space directly reflected the energy connection with our own being. If the wardrobe was messy or the doors constantly open, it could be a reflection of a disorganized life, with stagnant energies and emotional blocks. What you keep within you must also be in balance, Maria, Helena said as she watched the wardrobe's open doors. Your environment reflects your soul. If you have already felt that your home energy needs a touch of change, write in the comments below, "I feel something needs to change." Helena carefully observed the surrounding environment, already aware of what was happening. The doors of Maria's wardrobe were not just open, they were allowing the stagnant energies to accumulate in space. In every corner of the house, a sense of discomfort seemed to intensify. Maria, once full of energy, was now constantly tired and struggling to focus. His mind seemed overwhelmed, and the energy flow was being blocked. The tension was palpable, and Helena knew she needed to act. When the doors are open, you are allowing energy to flow without control, Helena said with a serious tone. This can result in an environment loaded with unwanted influences that interfere with your spiritual balance. For Maria, it all started to make sense. She noticed that whenever the wardrobe was open, the tiredness took over her. The spiritual forces that she could control now seemed to intensify, becoming difficult to deal with. The simple act of closing the doors seemed to be one of the keys to bring peace back to his home. Maria, who had never given much attention to the organization of her wardrobe, began to realize the depth of this act. Helena, with her wisdom, explained that an organized environment is a direct reflection of a harmonious energy flow. The mess in the wardrobe was not only a reflection of the disorder in Mary's life, but also a block for the renewal of energies. By keeping the wardrobe in order, she not only organized her clothes, but also began to clean and purify the environment around her, allowing new opportunities and good energies to enter. Each piece of clothing, each object kept, has its own vibration. When space is disorganized, these vibrations can conflict, creating a kind of energy turbulence. Helena explained that a well-organized wardrobe acts as a kind of energy barrier, protecting the environment from negative astral influences. Mary finally understood that the organization was not a trivial task, but a way of taking care of her spiritual health. She began to feel lighter, as if finally allowing the energy flow to flow more freely and harmoniously. Maria began to realize that her sleep quality was directly linked to the state of her wardrobe. Each night she was tired, but could not completely rest. The energy inside the room seemed to weigh on it. When Helena visited her house once again, she was not long before identifying the origin of discomfort. The open wardrobe issues a vibration that can interfere with your rest, she explained. Open doors created an environment of energy disorder, a vortex of stagnant energies that affected its auric field and hindered repairing sleep. Helena suggested that Mary close her doors every night before bed, establishing a kind of spiritual protection ritual. When the wardrobe is closed, you are creating an energy barrier between you and the outside world. This helps to clean the negative vibrational influences that can interfere with your mind and body while you rest, Helena said. Maria followed the advice and, in a few days, noticed a significant difference. The nights became quieter, and the sense of renewal upon waking up was unmistakable. The simple act of closing the doors brought a sense of vibrational purification, promoting not only a better sleep but a new perspective of life. When it comes to harmony in the environment, Feng Shui offers valuable teachings, and Helena knew she could apply these wisdoms to help Maria. According to this millennial practice, the energy of space where we live can be manipulated to favor our health and prosperity. The wardrobe's open doors, according to Feng Shui, represented a block for energy flow and an unwanted opening for external astral influences. At Feng Shui, the idea is to create a balanced and protected environment, Helena explained. When the doors are open, the energy does not properly circulate, and you may end up allowing negative energies to invade your space. Maria began to understand that the simple act of closing the wardrobe doors at the end of the day was a gesture of home purification, a way of restoring energy harmony and avoiding the accumulation of negative charges. In addition, the opening of the doors could symbolize disorganization, something that would directly interfere with your spiritual health. Over time, Maria began to adopt Feng Shui as a guide to organize her space so that she would not only spiritual protection, but also an environment that attracted good energies. She began to feel the positive impact of practice, and her house became a reflection of a much deeper balance. If you have already noticed the influence of energy on your space, write in the comments below, "I feel something needs to change." Helena knew that true spiritual protection begins in the small gestures of everyday life. For Maria, closing the gates of the wardrobe has become an essential energy ritual. When you close your doors, you are creating an energy barrier that prevents external energies from influencing your vibrational field, Helena explained. This simple act of care for space was not just about keeping the wardrobe in order. It was a way of protecting the home from invisible influences that could destabilize the balance of the house. Mary realized that by closing her doors, she not only protected the energy of her room, but also from her own soul. Unwanted spiritual forces can infiltrate the environment, especially when there are open doors or disorganized spaces. The often neglected wardrobe has become a kind of portal for the best in her life. By adopting this habit, she not only restored peace in her home, but also created invisible protection, a shield against the negative energies that could arise. The act of closing the wardrobe doors became a true renewal of the energies, and Maria felt safer, more connected and balanced. Helena, with her keen vision, knew that Maria's wardrobe was not just a furniture. He was a mirror of the mind, reflecting the deepest aspects of his subconscious. Each item guarded, every piece of clothing, talks about what you carry inside yourself, Helena explained. The disorganization of the wardrobe was a representation of Mary's internal tensions, stagnant energies and unresolved feelings. Over time, Maria realized that when organizing her wardrobe, she was also organizing her own thoughts and feelings. The way she dealt with the external mess was closely connected to the way she dealt with the internal mess. Maria began to notice that when she arranged the wardrobe, she felt more balanced and less emotionally overloaded. The act of taking care of this personal space became a way to clean the negative charges that accumulated in the subconscious. She found that the wardrobe was not just a place where she kept clothes, but an energy portal for what was happening inside her mind and soul. As he begins to look at the wardrobe as a reflection of his own inner state, Mary realized that care for him was actually a way to spiritual healing. Maria was increasingly convinced of power than the simple act of taking care of her wardrobe had about her personal energy. Following Helena's teachings, she began to incorporate energy rituals into the process of storage. First, she began to use herb smokes such as sage and rosemary, known for her vibrational purification properties. Herbs have the power to clean stagnant energies and restore harmony in the environment, Helena said. Maria lit an incense, closed her eyes and breathed deeply as the smoke spread throughout the room. The feeling was of an immediate spiritual unlocking, as if an invisible weight had been removed from his back. In addition to the smoking, Maria started using crystals in her wardrobe. She has placed stones like amethyst and pink quartz, which are known for their properties of spiritual protection and emotional healing. These crystals help maintain energy flowing in a balanced way, protecting it from external influences and promoting a sense of inner peace. Maria began to realize that when her wardrobe was harmonized, not only her environment was transformed, but also her willingness to deal with life. The energies of space reflected their own inner peace, creating an energy connection that stretched throughout your home. For Maria, the simple act of closing the gates of the wardrobe has gained a new meaning. With Helena's guidance, she came to see this gesture as more than a daily task, was a ritual of energy protection and renewal. Each time he closed his doors, Maria concentrated on her intention, visualizing the space being protected from any negative influence and allowing only good energies to flow into her life. The intention is the key, Helena explained. When you close your doors, you are not only creating a physical but also mental and spiritual barrier. You are telling the universe that you are ready to welcome only what is positive. Over time, Maria felt the effects of this little gesture deeply. Each night, when closing the gates of the wardrobe, she connected with her own energy sensitivity, realizing that the environment became calmer, more balanced. The energy barriers she created with her intention protected her from negative charges and external influences that previously affected her. The power of intention transformed the simple act of closing the doors into a moment of renewal of energy, restoring peace in your home and in your life. She then understood that the true power was not only in physical space, but in the energy she herself infused into each gesture. Throughout Mary's journey, it was clear that the simple gesture of closing the wardrobe doors was not just a matter of organization or habit, but an energy ritual that had the power to transform your life. Care for the energy portals within her home, and the spiritual protection she settled with every conscious gesture, began to reflect on her life deeply. The energy flow of the environment is aligned with its own inner balance, allowing it to attract good energies and protect itself from external influences. You can also experience this transformation. Have you thought about the impact that a simple gesture of intention can have on your life? How can you start purifying your home and protecting your auric field with small changes in your daily life? Closing the wardrobe doors can be the first step in creating a more harmonious environment, both physically and spiritually. Let the power of subtle energy act in your life, and see how it can bring renewal and protection. If you enjoyed this content and want to know more about how to transform your home and life, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications to not miss any video. Do not miss the chance to harmonize your space and unlock all the energy potentialities within your reach. What do you expect to start your spiritual renewal journey today?